Well, hello and welcome to Live with the Pack. It is good to be here. And if you don't know, PAC stands for Philippine American Couple. That's us. I will be your host. I am David, and I will be your all knowing, your smartest man in the office, the Lord and the Master of my own universe, and of course, most importantly, your guide through this journey of entertainment for today. Now, if you're not able to watch the complete live stream, you're welcome to check out our edited or condensed version of the live stream on our podcast series called Live with Pac. Just check that out on our channel for us. I am very happy and excited to be here with you guys today. We got a great topic about gold diggers. Have you ever heard the term gold diggers? So we're going to talk about that today. Now, let's take care of a little bit of housekeeping right away. It is Wednesday, August the 23rd, 8 a.m. It is where we are here in the United States, 82 degrees. And it's going to be another very hot day. Yesterday was right at 100. The day before was in the hundreds. Today's going to be hundreds. So it is going to be very hot for us. And let me see what else. We want to give out a big welcome to everybody who's coming in today from overseas. We appreciate your effort to do so. I will be dropping a link, the StreamYard link, a little bit later. So if you guys want to come up in the panel and join us, you can. If you're new to the channel, just make sure that when you come backstage, you show yourself, and then I'll bring you up when I can get you up there. Now let's see what else I want to talk about housekeeping wise. Please be respectful to everyone. That's number one. Make friends with everybody. That's number two. It is a good thing to network and to become friends with everybody. So I appreciate you guys doing that. So let's get into today's topic. So today's topic, like I said, is about gold diggers. And I want to tell you a little bit about how this topic has come up. So, but oh wait, before I get into telling you how we got here, make sure if you like anything we do, even in the tiny least little bit, that you give us a thumbs up, that you go back and watch our other videos. We have over 500 videos and live streams from all over the world. Give those a like, a share, subscribe, hit that alert bell. And if you're joining us today, please feel free to share this live stream out. I got some beautiful hot green tea this morning, because even though it's already 83 degrees, it's good to have green tea. But all right, let's get into how this topic happened. So I'm going to try not to use names, but the other day, my wife and I, Lorelei, who's the other half of the PAC team, and of course, all of you guys can be a member of the PAC. You can. We can be a great big giant PAC. So we're chatting, and we have a friend who's recently been a female friend who's recently divorced. And I understand why. So I really do. But we were talking, and I have another friend in another part of the country, and I have another friend around here who would like to meet somebody. And my wife is telling me, hey, remember, blah, 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 is single now. And I said, well, it just so happened that a friend from another part of the country messaged me and saying, hey, I saw your wife's female friend on one of the live streams you did a while back, and I was just thinking of her, so maybe you would tell her hi for me. Sure, why not? But of course, me being a guy, went up. So I was telling my wife, hey, by the way, my friend would like to say hi to your newly single friend. Man, things get complicated. So and I said, what do you think about that? Because, a lot of times women get nervous about some strange guy just saying hi. So I said, do you think that would be okay? And she's like, I don't know, I'll message the girl. But then my wife and I got talking, and she's like, but my friend, well, what my wife said was this. So does he have money? And I'm like, well, what do you mean, does he have money? I don't know how much money he has. And she's like, well, but if he doesn't have any money, then I don't think my female friend will like him because she wants somebody with money. And I'm like, what? 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 And I said, now wait a minute. So my wife and I got in this discussion about gold diggers, or what is a gold digger. And I'm telling my wife, I said, okay, wait a minute. So what you're telling me, unless this dude has what, $100 million, $5, how much is that threshold of money? And your friend doesn't want to have anything to do with them. So is your friend a hooker? Is that what you're trying to say? I don't know what you're trying to say here. I said, what if you, and she's like, no, you know how women are. We just want to know that we can be financially taken care of. And let me clear up the record for one thing real quick. My wife's not a gold digger. She works hard and manages money, like you can't believe. But, and I said, well, I understand that everybody wants financial security, but your friend doesn't have any money, so why would he want anything to do with her? So you're telling me it's the responsibility of the man only to financially make her life better? That doesn't make any sense. That's not right. So, and I said, now what happens if the guy is actually not wealthy today and you pass him over, and 2 years later, he has a great job and he's making a couple $100,000 a year? I said, why don't you marry for love, then work together on building your financial portfolio, your wealth together, instead of worrying about, if the guy already has a big old fat bank account. She's like, well, I understand, but it's kind of the threshold of can he financially take care of me? And I said, well, can she financially take care of herself now? And the answer is, well, not that since she got a divorce, she doesn't have. So that's how we got on the topic of being a gold digger. Oh, so I'm very interested in knowing what people think. And I have some questions, and I'm going to share with you some definitions. So we're gonna do a little bit of being a student teacher today, and then I'm going to let you be the teacher and student me. And please feel free at any time. Let me know that you think I'm crazy, I'm off base, you agree with me, you don't agree with me, whatever it may be. You feel free to let me know if I'm off my rocker. So, but that's why we're talking about gold diggers. And all right, I want to show you. Let me pull this up. Let me back this back here. Let me change this format. I am not for sure how great you guys can see this. But here's where the terminology of gold diggers came from. This didn't originate, the terminology for being a gold digger didn't come around until the turn of the 1900s. And it actually was part of a play in the 1900s about true gold diggers. But here's what dictionary.com says that a gold digger is. A gold digger is a person who seeks or digs for gold in a gold field. All right. So I accept that. That's cool, right? Informally, it is a woman who associates or marries a man chiefly for material gain. Now, and this is going to pertain to one of the questions I have in a little bit. The Urban Dictionary, which I actually enjoy because they kind of give you a little bit more slang or a little bit more off the cuff terminology. So from their website, a gold digger is someone who only likes people because of how much they have or because of the items that they own. So what do you think? Are those good definitions? I think they're good definitions. So here's some red flags that are talked about on the internet to identify gold diggers. Okay? Gold digger. You know if you're around one if some of these things pop up. This girl who will disguise her intentions through layers of manipulation. So she will maybe be dishonest, not truthful. Excuse me, I'm getting all excited. You know, won't be truthful, be misleading about her true intentions. So this is a red flag. A girl who will disguise her intentions through layers of manipulation. Another one says, she's the kind of girl who will make you take her to the most expensive restaurant. So no McDonald's for me because I am better than that. You will be taking me to the best 5-star restaurant in the world. Now, let me say on a side note, I might be a gold digger because I enjoy very nice restaurants. But the point is this. It's not that she enjoys those nice restaurants, that the lesser restaurants or locations, food trucks would be beneath her. She may say things like, I'm not the kind of girl you take to McDonald's. Well, look, and I'll probably get some heat for this. McDonald's may not be the greatest fast food restaurant in the world, but you know, if you need a quick bite, you know, you get what you get. And I have a hardened rule that, and I agree with this. If McDonald's is not good enough for you, now if you don't like their food, that's one thing, and you're happy to go to Burger King or Arby's or Jollibee. Well, all right, I get that. McDonald's is not for everybody. She usually has an impressive list of ex-boyfriends, which is meant to impress you with the level of girl she is. These men are usually just rich marks, and this should be a red flag. And I'm going to add to this, if this person is bragging to you about all the things that her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend or ex-husband did for her or him, whatever, this is a huge red flag. One, they're talking about their ex so much it'll drive you crazy, and that's not a good way to be in a relationship, right? So keep that in mind. Definitely a red flag says, well, my boyfriend, he always took me, on cruises, and we stayed in luxury cabins. We didn't stay in the inside cabins. My boyfriend would always pick me up in his Lamborghini, not his Corvette R8 or whatever those are. She likes to humble brag a lot to make her seem less materialistic than she truly is. Oh, last Christmas, me and my friends. You like my voice? You like my accent here? Me and my friends, we went to the homeless shelter and fed those people for a whole hour. So humble bragging. Well, she wants your money, your food, and fancy clothing now. She wants your money, food, and fancy clothing now. I want my Louis Vuitton now. We're in Vegas. Why can't we just get it? I don't understand. Just buy it. It's right there. Well, I don't have $6,000 to dump on a bag that's going to go in the closet and never be used. But hey, as long as she gets it, is what's important. But if she's getting old, she might settle for a young guy who's going to be rich, like a medical student or a law student. She will usually get impregnated to see other guys as well until they get married. Or she dumps him for another guy as soon as they are available. So they're playing the field, they're playing the odds, they're hoping to land a big fish. They're hoping, and look, and in fairness, I've seen this a lot. And I had a conversation with somebody last night just about this topic. I love the Philippine community. I'm part of it. My wife's Filipino. But it is shocking to me, even after being in this world for 20 years or more, how many married Filipinos in the United States that I've ran across and ran into who would be happy to trade their husband for a better husband. Blows my mind. I had this conversation with people last night where we just happened to be talking about this. To this day, it still blows my mind about how much they would like to trade up, so to speak. And, and in my humble opinion, that is not a good way to do it. And my advice to anybody on the other side of that coin, and I've had this happen to me in my past before I got married. I had married women who thought I had money and who wanted to trade up their older husbands that were here. And that's just not something that's acceptable to me. So that's trading up. She may be a black widow and she's smart. Well, I do think they are smart because I think anybody who's really good at manipulating people is smart. I mean, it takes effort. It takes effort to manipulate people. Whether you're a politician or a date, it takes effort to manipulate people. I don't know about a black widow. In my world, black widows are women that kill their husbands. So I don't know about that. If you've ever heard anybody describe her as, dude, she's a gold digger. Look who she's dated and what she makes you spend or you do. That could be a gold digger. And I do think there's a distinction, guys and girls, between somebody who's working very hard to, and neither one of these are good, to manipulate the guy on spending and making them, basically do whatever and jump at her or his whims and needs, versus the other type that's not so good, who just wants to be the boss and wants to drag you through everything and not give you a voice in a relationship. So you have that type of person. Then you also have the one that does it for more materialistic goals, or goods. So there's that part, which is the gold diggerish part. Then you have the other part, the other side of that personality trait, that could be just the ones who wants to absolutely dominate the relationship for whatever reason, but it's not monetary. All right. So if we see or hear any of these things, she might be a gold digger. These may be your red flags. So let's look at the historical context. The first terminology, the first time gold diggers were really used, was for a play written by Avery Hopwood. It's popularized to use the term gold digger. And it truly was about gold diggers, people that went out and dug up gold. So, and here's the plot of it. This is where it originally turns. It wasn't until about the 1919 through 1921, where they started using it in reference to women who were looking to upgrade or to capture that money, that man who could take them out of whatever. But that's when it started to come into a connotation, not just women who's looking for a secured husband, somebody that might be able to financially take care of them, but somebody they could financially manipulate. This is in the 1920s. So I've dropped the StreamYard link. Now that we're through that little part, you guys can chime in or come up in the panel if you wish today. So let's talk a little bit more as we go through this. I shared with you the definitions. What do you guys think of the definitions? Leave me a comment about what do you think. Are there any other red flags? This is one thing I would like to hear is, does anybody have any other red flags you want to throw out there? And I have some questions, and we're going to talk about these questions. All right. Question number one, can men be gold diggers? Or is it a term that we can only associate with females? Because what do we call the guy that does this? Do we call a guy, a man, a boy who takes advantage of a richer older lady? We call, and this is kind of what's bad about this, folks, is when a girl does it, she's a gold digger, right? If I go out there, if I go out there and chase a woman who's 20 years older than me, then, she's a cougar or my sugar mama, but I don't get criticized. Nobody calls me a bad term. I don't think there's a term for me if I did that, right? I don't remember. Maybe gigolo, but that's more truly a prostitution thing. So, but the words gold digger sounds bad, right? She's a gold digger. But on our end, well, he's just looking for a sugar mama. Woo-hoo, sugar mama. Man, I wish my wife was a sugar mama. So, right? So can a guy be a gold digger? What are they called? Shouldn't they have the same negative connotation or terminology that women have if we're going to do that? Okay, so need your help with that one. Henry, good morning to you, my friend. How are you down there in the south? It is already 86 degrees where we are. It's going to be another beautifully hot, miserable day in the northern south. I hope you're doing well. We are talking about gold diggers. So, and I don't mean miners who go out and dig for gold anymore. So that's question number one. Can a man be a gold digger, and why doesn't he have a negative terminology? So, question number two. Yeah, stay cool down there. Here's question number two, and leave your comment or feel free to come up in the panel. Question number two. Can you be a gold digger in other areas of life? Or does it just have to be the romantic connotation or feel? So, because I thought about this a little bit, but what exactly is a gold digger? You know, I really want to think about that. And I think about now, as adults, can you be a gold digger if you don't want a relationship with the person? Yes. And I'm going to give you some examples. And if you have an example of this, please share it. The people that manipulate old people that come into their homes to befriend them, take care of them, maybe it's a neighbor, and really what they're doing is trying to get whatever they can from that elderly person. Those are classic gold diggers that we see a lot of times. Hopefully they get caught and prosecuted. You know, there's the whole new series out in the Carolinas called The Final Respects. And it's truly about this. These people take advantage of these old people when they die, and it's a horrible thing. Now, those are gold diggers, one example, but that has no romantic connotation to it. They're also just thieves. Maybe they're not gold diggers, maybe they're just thieves. I don't know. Henry says, well, I've seen both being gold diggers. Yeah. The other type are family members. Can family members be gold diggers? I know a situation right now where this is going on. I've seen it a bunch of times, but one actively. And it breaks my heart that it happened, that it's going on, and it's not necessary. So do you think family members can be gold diggers? They whether they just try to manipulate a family member into giving them and supporting them, or when the family members get older, they try to trick them and manipulate and convince them, you know, grandpa or dad, you better put everything you own in my name so I can manage your affairs. Then I'm going to throw your ass in a nursing home and take your money. Are those good gold diggers? Yeah. Now, Henry agrees with me and says yes. To be honest, I think the family gold diggers are the worst of the bunch. You know, when you got a woman or a man being a gold digger, wanting to suck up to some dude, look, if you're stupid enough as a man to let some woman take advantage of you financially just because she's pretty, it's kind of on you. But the family gold digger, the family manipulator, that's another story. And those people are disgusting. Now, there is another component to family gold diggers. And I gotta tell you, I'm part of this. I gotta tell you. Just gonna admit it right off the bat. When people's kids, when my family's kids, or even friends' kids, they're little kids, you know, like 16 and under. When they're around me, if they don't irritate me, if they don't drive me crazy, if they don't irritate me, and they're nice to me, I give them money. You know, I reward them for not irritating the crap out of me. So, are they gold diggers? Because they quickly figure out, hey, you know, I can just be nice to him, right? And not aggravate him. Maybe he'll slip me a 20. Because if you aggravate me, you ain't going to get nothing. So are the little kids gold diggers, or am I just a bad uncle, because we don't have any kids. So if it was my own children, I wouldn't give them a dime. But somebody else's kids, say, I don't know. Anybody have any thoughts whether that's bad on me or bad on the kids? So here's one of my favorite questions. If you could get away with being a gold digger, would you be a gold digger? Good green tea. So let's think about this a second. If you could get away with being a gold digger, would you be a gold digger? So if you were some sexy chick who you knew dudes digged, would you take advantage and go, look, hey, it's not my fault the dude wants to give me a Corvette. It's not my fault that the guy wants to take me on cruises. So would you be a gold digger if you could get away with it? Sorry, my phone's buzzing. What do you think? Would you? I don't know. I thought about this for me, and the answer is no. Obviously, for me, I would not. I don't care about other people's money. I tell you, people on YouTube who I love, who offer to send me money. Hey, great. If you got a lot of cash, you want to send it to me, that's great. I don't need your money. So keep it and give it to a charity. Help people out in your communities. If you really want to give it to me, great, but I don't want your money. Henry says, me, I wouldn't, and I have turned out a new car and a house. Ooh. Was the house on a lake? Could you go fishing out the backyard, Henry? Because that would be a tough one for me. If some hot chick said, "Hey, you want to go live on the water with me and fish out the backyard on your boat, and I'll pay for it all," boy, that'd be a tough one for me, Henry. I mean, because I love to fish. That'd be a tough one. So I couldn't do it either. So, would you be a gold digger? That's our question for you, for yourself to answer. You don't have to admit it out there in public. Let's go to the next question. Would you feel comfortable dating somebody who had so much more than you? Would you think that person might think that you're a gold digger, that you're only after them for their resources, their money? So as a guy or girl, how would you feel about dating somebody who if you were lucky in the US and you made 100 grand a year, but you met somebody who's worth, 25, 30 million? Any fin is possibles in the house. Hey, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. We're talking about gold diggers. And if you haven't caught the whole podcast, the whole live stream today, I am going to put a condensed version of this into our podcast playlist called Live with Pat. So don't worry, you won't miss anything. But how would you feel about this? I dated when I was younger women that already were successful when I was a student and I wasn't. And to be honest, back then it didn't bother me because it wasn't that huge of a disparity. But let's say you made 100,000 a year in America, which is a lot of money, and your girlfriend that you meet happens to be worth, 50 million bucks. How would you feel about that? Would you be excited? Would you be nervous? Would you be going, geez? Would you feel inadequate? And the follow-up question to that would be, do you think women or men would feel more uncomfortable dating a rich person? I think men have more problem dating somebody who has that disparity. She has 50 million, you have 100,000 a year annually. I think us men would be more stressed, intimidated, worried about dating that versus if I had 50 million bucks and some girl made 100,000 a year. I don't think it would bother the women as much. I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Anyfin says, I dream of being a trophy husband now that I've been married for 20 years. Same thing. I keep telling I've told my wife, because, my wife drives to work, but she doesn't really like it. She'd rather, we don't live very far from her job. And as encouragement, I've told her, I said, once you break that 100,000 a year mark, I will drive you to work every day. Because she doesn't like driving. So I'm trying to give her incentive, and I would be happy to be a trophy husband myself. So I am with you. I would be happy to be a trophy husband. I wouldn't want to be a trophy boyfriend, but I'd be happy to be a trophy husband. So that's part of our question. Would you date somebody that had so much more money than you? How would you feel? If you knew this going into it. Now, if you discovered it later, that's a different story, right? No big deal there. All right. Number 5, or another question here. Have you ever had a gold digger after you? Have you ever had somebody who, whether it was a family member, whether it was a friend, whether it was a love interest that wanted your money, that wanted something from you? Have you? I have. Henry says, well, he's different because he really doesn't care about money. Henry, I'm kind of with you here. And I'm going to do another topic about what it means to be wealthy. That's one of our podcasts and live stream topics down the road here. But in a summary, I don't think being wealthy has anything to do with money. So, and of course, Henry says, yes, he's had, somebody chasing his beautiful butt because he's wealthy, or because they assumed he could provide a better life. So I've had this happen several occasions. And there for a minute the other day in the restaurant talking to my wife about her divorced friend, I almost started thinking my wife was one when she kept telling me, well, but we want financial security. And I'm like, well, then go get it yourself. Why do you need the guy to get you financial security, especially when you're 50 years old? You're not that hot. That's one thing that we could go down this rabbit hole. One thing that blows my mind. You got a divorced 50-year-old woman who I understand why she's divorced. She's really not that hot, but yet she thinks that the guy should, pony up $500,000 to her because I don't get that. Tim in the house. Thank you, Tim. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. So, but when my wife and I were discussing this, and she's like, well, but women just want to know that they can be taken care of. And I said, well, but in today's world, shouldn't women be worried about taking care of themselves? Us men have to worry about taking care of ourselves. So is our burden to take care of them too? Is that fair? I've actually had and dated girls who I quickly found out that either one, I was too poor. I wasn't wealthy enough for them to waste their time with. Or ones that wanted out of, like I said earlier, talking about some local Filipinos here in the United States who have met men, came over here. Maybe they met him in the military. Maybe they did the K-1 visa thing. Who knows? But I actually know girls in our Filipino community here that I've been involved in for over 20 plus years who have said, hey, I'd be happy to get rid of my husband because you have a nicer house and nicer cars and make more money than him. Ew. That's Ew. So that means that if I agree to this and I take you on, when you find somebody better than me financially, you'll just move on to them. That's not a good scenario. So why in the hell would I do that? Tim says, I'm not used to being live streaming this time of the day. I know, Tim, I'm doing something a little different. We're going to do some live streams that I'm turning into a little podcast on Wednesday mornings. Lorelai and I are still going to do some evening stuff here and there, and we're going to do some remote live streams when we travel and things. But I thought I'd give this a shot and see how I do this early in the morning, because it's early in the morning for me, guy. Let me tell you. And I thought there was no better way for me to start off kind of a new series or new live streams without talking about gold diggers. So that's where we're at. We're talking about gold diggers. And I've dropped the link, and I'll drop it again. If anybody wants to come up in the chat, you're more than welcome to. Let's ask this. If I'm a guy and I'm being hit on by a gold digger, and I know she's a gold digger, then is there a problem? Jim says it's almost his bedtime there in the Philippines. Yeah, you guys, it's almost your bedtime. How's everything in the Philippines? Weather good? No typhoons? So, if you know that, then is she a gold digger? If you know she's a gold digger, and she wants you for the gold that she can dig, and you know this, is she a gold digger? I don't know. Henry says, that is someone who is not satisfied with their life and thinks things are better somewhere else all the time. That's right. And I don't want to pick on Filipino women, because American women do this too. American women want to husband hop also. But it seems prevalent in what I've seen in my lifetime a lot with women from different countries. The difference is this. When women from a different country that I've noticed come here with their husband of that same country, they don't do that. But if they meet on a dating site or the military or whatever it may be, then maybe they're just looking for a way out of Taiwan or South Africa or wherever. I don't know. You pick the country. Belize, Honduras, the Philippines, Malaysia. Are they just looking for a way out? So when they get here, they're hoping for better. You know. Jim says, my girlfriend has only asked me for a load for her phone 3 times in 8 years. That's a good girlfriend. Very good girlfriend. When I was dating my wife, she never asked me for anything. Being new to an LDR, I had to talk to other people and figure out, oh, you know, I've had her quit work, so I would send her some money. But I had to go on and check into my Filipino community to find out if that was really enough money. Because she wasn't asking for money, but I would send her some, but she would never say whether it was enough, and it wasn't. And so I talked to somebody, they're like, oh, maybe give her a little. So I'm like, all right. So I doubled it. It made her life a little bit better, but she never asked for money. She never did. Never did. So that's one thing I've noticed, that, and American women do it too. And here's what's really sad to me. These people are willing to break up their marriage, uproot their children if they have any, just in hopes moving up on the social food chain a notch or two. And, it's like the crab mentality where everybody thinks they got to pull people down to get up. And it's sad. It's a very sad way to go. But I see it in our community, and I see it on a regular basis. And I don't know if there is anything that can be done about it, because I don't think there is. We have a friend who's going through this right now. Well, no longer is her husband good enough because she thinks she can do better. Reality will be hitting, and better's out the door. So, one of my thoughts on that. And men be gold diggers, remember? What do we call the man that does it? Tim, Henry, do you have any thoughts on what we could call the man that's a gold digger besides the reverse terminology of the woman being the sugar mama or the woman being a cougar? Or is there a derogative terminology? If I did this to a girl, younger or older, doesn't matter. If I did this to a female, is there a derogatory term for us men? Anybody think of one? Because I don't think that's fair. Just to put the negative connotation on females. I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair for females to do it or males to do it. Either way, but it is reality. Sugar baby? Okay. So the guy would be called a sugar baby? See, I don't find that as offensive as gold digger. If somebody called me a gold digger, or if somebody called me sugar baby, now I've heard women say that to their husbands or boyfriend. Well, that's my sugar baby, but I don't think that has a negative connotation. I would take sugar baby over gold digger any day of the week. Just would. I would take it any time of the week. Sure, call me sugar baby. And I might even be a little proud if my wife called me that, because one, she likes me, and two, if she really did have a lot of money, now that we're married, then I'd be all right letting her buy me stuff, Since she's my wife, she wanted to buy me that house, on the coastal waters down in Florida, so I could go fishing every day. I let her. Trust me. And I would take her to work. That's right. I would drive her to work unless I was fishing. Then be a different subject. So what's the negative term? Do we feel like we should tell guys about whether their girlfriend is a gold digger or their wife is gold digging? Do you think guys should know that their woman would be willing to trade them up for something better in their mind? Do you think we have an obligation to share that information? Should I be able to say, hey, Henry, so-and-so, be careful because, her priority is money. Let's see what Tim says. Tim has said, I've had ladies here offer me all of my living expenses, spending money, but she was also so busy with her work and not much time for me. I thought oh, I'm going to get in so much trouble for this, Tim. I thought you were going to say, I've had ladies here offer me all of my living expenses, all of my spending money, but she was very ugly. Boy, that's where my brain went. I'm a horrible person, Tim. Let me tell you, I'm a horrible person. I will tell you honestly, and thank God my wife is at work, and hopefully she will never watch this. I was offered to trade my wife in the Philippines. I had a couple of Filipinas when we were in the Philippines say, look, I can be better than your wife. Just get rid of her. Like, what? I can barely put up with her. I mean, why would I take you on? Why would I want to trade my great wife? So I got to say good things now. But she'll probably watch this. So, kind of strange, right? Kind of strange. So, do we feel like we have an obligation? And my point of asking this is when we were talking earlier about my wife's female friend and my other friend who lives in another part of the country, who wanted to say hi to this newly single female friend, I was very personally conflicted whether I should warn him about what her mentality was. Because this female has a mentality that I don't know how to say it without being bad. That her simple terms would be that her shit doesn't stink. And she's expecting her next new boyfriend or future husband to be way richer and devote himself financially to her, which is bonkers because that's kind of what the last one did. Really good guy. I don't know. Henry, my friend, is saying, well, if he's a really good friend or somebody really new, I would tell them to watch out. But that's me. Henry, I agree with you. And what I try to do, and I've done this in the past also, is say, here's my opinion. You do what you want. But I'm going to tell you what I know, and then you figure it out from there. Because if you're okay with being in a situation with a gold digger, then that's on you, right? And look, I know guys, I know men my age who have a lot more money than me that are very happy to have a 25-year-old hot-looking girlfriend just so they can walk around and say, look at me, look how successful I am. I got some little girl, a kid. I got some kid who wants to sleep with me. I am super successful. I am the man. I am the badass. I am the babe. I am it. Because I got these young girls wanting to hang around me. Well, never mind the fact that you're old and ugly. You just happen to have a lot of money. Yes. That lady reminded me of the lady in the song Stairway to Heaven. Outstanding. So, it's not okay for women to be gold diggers. Is it okay for the man to take advantage of a gold digger or to get what he wants out of the gold digger? Now, I'm going to really get into a ditch in trouble here because us guys who are married to Filipinas, we do have a lot of younger men who marry younger Filipinos. So you're in your 30s, you marry a 30-year-old or a 25-year-old, something like that. But more than likely, right, guys, us old men marry the Filipinos because they are a lot younger than us, and we can never get anybody prettier than them at our old crabby ages, right? So we, a lot of times, marry Asian women 20 years younger than us. That's what American men do. Western men, some even go as much as 30, 35, and 40 years. But now that's pushing it for me. I personally believe your age gap is 20 years. That should be about your max, about 20 years. Now, if you're 65 and she's 40, that's a different story. But if you're 40 and she's 16, you're screwed in the head. So is that a form of trophy wife, gold digger? Is the girl a gold digger when she knows that the American or the German or the Australian can take her out of the poverty in the Philippines and give her a better life? But the guy's not the greatest looking. He's kind of fat and ugly like me. Does that make her a gold digger? Does that happen? Are they gold diggers? I don't think all of them are by any stretch at all. At all. But is that a form of gold digging? Is it the other side of the coin? Is if I know I'm getting into that, then does that nullify her being a gold digger? So if I know this about a girl that she only wants to be with me because I have money, if I know this, then is she a gold digger? I don't know. Those are the questions. Tim says his is 24 years younger than him. But I also know, Tim, your age. And so I'm good with that from my perspective. I don't like it when the 40-year-old men, the 50-year-old men, the 60-year-old men are dating 18-year-old girls. That really bothers me. You know what I mean? When you get the 18 and that's kind of creepy. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at in that. I've seen these 70-year-old, 50 and 60-year-old men going after 18-year-old. That's just creepy and bad, you know. But I understand why the girl may be interested in this. And does this make her a gold digger? Because I know somebody personally who got married to a 60-year-old when she was 20. Came to the United States, took care of him. He died. She had inherited all of his money and his farm. So she played the odds. And now she has a husband who's closer to her own age, and a family, a nice farm and money. So is she a gold digger, or was she just being smart and playing the odds? I don't know. You guys tell me. That's kind of what this overall topic was. What is a gold digger? And I'm going to run down the questions real quick. 1, can men be gold diggers? 2, are there other areas of life other than romance where you can be gold diggers? Family, friends, places like that. Is it okay to be gold diggers? If you're a gold digger, would you be one? Could you be a gold digger? If you knew that you could get a rich sugar mama, would you? Would you date somebody who was a lot wealthier than you? And have you ever had a gold digger chase you? That's what our topic was today. We're going to be getting off of here in just a couple of minutes because I'm trying to keep these down to 2 hours max, but 1 hour. And today we're right coming up to this. Remember, we are going to do a whole series of these talking about things. We're having open format. And remember, if you don't catch the live stream, you can catch the podcast live with the pack. And very excited that you guys came today. I appreciate all of y'all. If you would, make sure and share out the videos from our channel. And like, subscribe, and share. Let me see if I got any last comments for you. Oh, last comments is this. If there's any topics that you guys would like for me to cover that maybe you don't feel comfortable voicing out there, let me know, and I will do some research and see if I can't put together a program about whatever topic you guys would like to see and cover. That's my goal in these live streams, in these podcasts. I want to talk about interesting, fun things, entertaining things, but things that make us think a little bit. And I want you guys to teach me and give me knowledge. Here's one of my favorite quotes. To travel, hopefully, is better thing than to arrive, by Robert Louis Stevenson. The last part of the quote it is, and the true success is to labor. My friends, we appreciate you. Take care, and we will see you next Wednesday morning. Please share out and let everybody know we'll be here on Wednesday mornings. Thanks, guys. Take care now.